Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Edward here, back with another video. And today I want to show you the breakdown of a trade we took today. Let me just bring you here my Telegram group. So basically, you can see I actually started sending messages very early this morning today. I don't normally start chatting at this hour, but it was, yeah, I don't know. I just woke up very early today, and I was actually doing a couple of things. I decided to check the chart, and I was actually seeing something. As a matter of fact, I spotted a nice setup, and this was look at the hour. This was a still London session, so I actually sent this to my team, and I said, "But I'm not entering, right? Just watching this, but I'm not entering this. It's just an idea." So after that, just prices started moving nicely. This was a nice unicorn pattern. Look at this. Price started moving, and later on, look at this. No, it just matched target. So this was a really nice setup. I spotted it, and I was tempted to get in, but I didn't enter because it's not my time. It's normally not my time. So I took one first shot today, and that was a loss. I caught losses. This was the first entry. It was, as you can see here, it was kind of aggressive. I was trying to just simply follow here the trend. Um, and New York session was just opening. I didn't even get the change in the state of delivery here entirely. So I did enter a little early. It started actually consolidating and ranging for a little while right here. When I started to see that range right there, I was like, oh, shoot, this is not going to go well. So I ended up just closing the position. It was like, I said, I'm out. I'm tired of this. And just closed. Price was just so choppy, and it was just coming back down to my inversion fair value gap right here, and I just cut losses. I lost like 52 dollars or something like that. I just closed the position, and then after that, right here, let me just show you now on what we did after 9:30, right? Because this, I don't know if you can see here, but this was the formation that I showed you during London session. This was a nice little accumulation, manipulation, and a nice change in the state with a breaker block for a value gap. Nice unicorn right here. And price did push. It did give the chance to win this one, right? Then after that, New York session opens, and you see chop, 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 chop until 9:30. Boom! Look at what happens, right? And this was actually easy to read. I was expecting, after I close my position with this candle right here, I caught losses. I just stay out, and I said, I'm going to just wait for the New York Stock Exchange right now, right? So I waited. I saw the price ranging, 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 and I said, oh, well, this is most likely, I'm sure that by the time New York Stock Exchange opens, we are going to be sweeping, you know, at least some of these lows, right? And I had marked up this morning, I was very interested in these relative equal lows, right? If you look at from here, let's actually go higher time frame. Because something interesting happened overnight. This is the opening right here. See this pink zone right here? It's the weekly opening gap, right? So this is how we close on Friday. This was the opening on Sunday. So we did drop immediately right here, and notice that we tapped into a 4 hour. Look at this. Look at this right here. I love that pin bar right there, tapping into this 4 hour fair value gap, bullish fair value gap. And since we are pretty much extending, I was still, and I am still strongly bullish in these markets. So I love that pin bar right there, but that happened during Asian session. So again, I don't trade Asian, I don't trade London, I trade New York. So notice, let's go back to lower time frame. That was a tap right there, right? So notice Asian sessions swept right here, take this relative equal lows, tap into the 4 hour, and then shifted to the upside. So basically what I understand here, This was the sell side of the curve until it tapping that higher time frame PDRA. And from here, from half here, we pretty much started our buy side of the curve, right? And notice that we pretty much started pushing Asian session here, London session, it started, you get the chance here. And then New York session opens, right? We are already more than halfway up our target, right? That was where I was most interested in taking my profits, right? That high right there. So with that, with that direction, hold on, with that in mind, right? It was my job to spot an entry. So what happens? Simple. New York session, stock exchange right there. Boom. Notice that manipulation comes at 9:30. It came at 9:30 today. This is a range. Look at this. Look at this entire range, right? Since New York session open, we get a huge range. And then 9:30 right here, we started to have the manipulation going to the downside. Prices start displacing. So notice the structure. This was quite simple here. High, low, high, low, high, low, and then boom, higher high. Right? So this right here was a change in the state of delivery. And it makes sense because now we're sweeping these relative equal lows. We're taking that liquidity. We all something I did mention here is that we did form divergence, by the way, right here. Nasdaq swept this low one more time, and S&P failed to take this low from here. So there's a failure right there. And we with that in mind, I was pretty much entering. I had two entry models right here. The first entry model was this inversion fair value gap. So as soon as this candle closes above this bearish fair value gap, it turns into an inversion, and we can take a shot right there. So I waited for the candle to close. It did close, and when this candle started to form, I was actually taking the shot. I was entering right about there. Anyways, so from there, notice that it never came back to a drawdown. I never went to a drawdown. Price went immediately pretty much into profits. So I was targeting first as the price was moving, right? I would have been just satisfied just with this TP right there, by the way. You know, so I was interested in that first TP. Once I started seeing that displacement in price trying to target and hitting this TP when it was about to close, I just kept holding. I just closed profits, but just kept holding one more time, right? Like leaving a runner, basically. And then when we were pretty much continuing pushing, I just continue holding. As of right now, I am still holding a small position. I just left a runner. And I don't know if it's gonna hit the TP overnight or it's just gonna come back to my break-even point. I really don't care. I already make my money, and I'm very satisfied, literally, with this push right there. That was the most important TP because that's the end of the pretty much the market making model, right? So right there. And notice the struggle in the weekly opening gap right here. Notice how the prices struggle. And then 9:30 drop to manipulate to take this recent lows, all this engineered liquidity right there. It swept that. It did notice that price did not go to this low right here. Did not go to that low. That's pretty much supposed to be, well, in theory, supposed to be respected, right? And now this is how we understand it. We are in the buy side of the curve, right? We did not have any news today. We're not having also any news tomorrow. We do have CPI on Wednesday and Thursday core PPI, and then another red folder news on Friday. So this was a magnificent. Look at this. Markets are just opening right now. We're opening with a gap to the upside. So I like that. Okay. Let's see what's going to happen anyways overnight and see if my final TP is going to get hit or I'm going to get stopped out on break even. At this point again, since this is the what is left remaining, I really don't care. However, if it does get over there, it'll be nice. So I still continue bullish. I do want to see price reach record highs. Nasdaq is quite close already. Yeah, we're just right there. It's just a few pips from getting those highs taken right there. But you guys already know what's been happening right now recently, especially with Donald Trump and Elon Musk and this argument, this fight they got in between. So, anyways, that's a whole another story. So, hope it makes sense. If you guys are interested in being part of my team and you guys want to see me trade live pretty much every single day, however, I go live on like on Zoom or on Discord on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I do trade with my team on Mondays and Fridays. What did I say? I'm sorry. So I said Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I go live on Zoom and Discord, and Mondays and Fridays I do trade, but I just only send analysis here. I send them the signals, basically if I'm entering or not, anything that's happening, video breakdowns, because you should know, guys, that I am a mentor. I do not sell signals. If you're trying to look for signals, or you that's your intention, you're actually looking for signals, don't join this team, because nope, I do not recommend getting signals. So if you want to learn, you want to be part of my team, it's a one-time payment and you're part of my team forever. Go check out my website, teamprofitsfx.com, and you can check out all the information there. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.